911, what is your emergency? What is going on? Hello?
My mom with a knife. She's killing her, please.
Who has a knife?
My sister.
Where is your sister?
Quick!
What? I got everyone coming to you, honey. Where is your sister?
This is the twisted case of Sabrina Zunich, and the person on the phone is her sister. Well, not her actual sister. Sabrina is an 18-year-old foster child, so basically she killed her foster mom. What could really cause Sabrina to kill her foster mom? Well, there was a secret involvement of a third party who takes advantage of Sabrina, and he almost got away with it. He ordered Sabrina to kill Lisa, promising her something that Sabrina wanted all her life. But how did things got here? Let me explain. Sabrina had lived with the No family for about a year and a half. She was a foster child born in 1994. Her parents both suffered from health issues, with her dad dying in 2012 of a drug overdose, her mother having drugs and alcohol issues, and she went to live with her granny at quite a young age. However, when she was caught stealing money from her granny for drugs and alcohol, you guessed it, the courts were like, yeah, you can't take care of her. We're sending her to the foster system, and she would eventually end up with Lisa and Kevin. The couples have been married for about 6 years. Lisa was a social worker, and Kevin was a truck driver. They were a loving couple. Lisa's 13-year-old Megan was from a previous marriage. 3-year-old Haley were Lisa and Kevin is. Lisa, however, felt she had so much more love to give, so 2 years after Haley was born, Sabrina Zunich came to live with them. Anyways, Zunich seemed to fit in well with the family and became close to the Nofels children. After a while, things quickly took a sinister turn when Sabrina and Kevin became too close for comfort. In March 2012, Sabrina told investigators that her relationship with Kevin had turned sexual. It started with innocent massages but soon progressed to touching and ultimately sexual intercourse. They were making sexual jokes about each other, and it was clear that something was not right. By the summer of 2012, Lisa and Kevin's marriage was in shambles. They were fighting all the time, and Kevin even told his friends that they might divorce. But Kevin had a plan, and he shared it with Sabrina. He told her that if she killed Lisa, they could start a new life together and raise their daughter Haley. Lisa had a large life insurance policy, and Kevin saw an opportunity to cash in. Sabrina was hesitant at first, but her love for Kevin was too strong. She agreed to go through with the plan, and on November 15, 2012, she carried out the gruesome act. She stabbed Lisa 178 times in her head, neck, torso, and extremities. It was a brutal and senseless act, one that shook the community to its core. The aftermath of the murder was just as shocking. Sabrina was arrested and taken for interrogation. They just want to know why she killed her foster mom.
Tell me, please. You remember me, right?
10 hours after the murder, Sabrina Zunich is released from the hospital into police custody with pending murder charges.
What do you recall?
From yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Getting done with my homework? Going, I don't know, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bed.
And we're at home?
Mm-hmm.
What, anything unusual happen?
I don't know.
Sabrina continues to act like she doesn't remember the events of the night, so detectives try a new direction.
How do you get along with Kevin?
Kevin and me are cool. I mean, he's more the one that helps me out. Because this has Megan to deal with, and so we made agreements a long time ago that if I need anything, that I can go to Kevin.
How about with Lisa? How do you dealing with her?
Me and Lisa have never been the best. She's never seen the life of me, and she's been wanting me out of the house.
Investigators sense the opening. They abruptly switch gears.
What's your thoughts on how Lisa is not alive now?
What?
Oh, you had a knife. And you stabbed Lisa.
I did.
Yes, you did. And Megan called the police.
That can't be true.
Bree, it is. I'm sorry.
This is really dead.
Denise is dead. Sorry.
I don't believe this. Nobody else is hurt.
Nobody else was hurt. Thank goodness.
Sabrina never denies committing the murder. She just acted confused when they told her she killed Lisa. Detectives obtain a search warrant for electronics found at the crime scene. When they check Sabrina's phone, they realize over the past several weeks Kevin and Sabrina text messaged each other over 1,000 times. The detectives did not think it was normal for a foster father and a foster daughter to have thousands of text messages between the two of them. Authorities suspect Kevin may have information about what happened that night. Kevin agrees to be interviewed only with his attorney present.
How you doing? Ron Palmer. And then you told me you wanted to talk about his wife's work.
Correct.
That's the subject matter?
Yes.
So,
Kevin, do you know anything that was happening at the house the night before you left for work that night?
well, hang on a second. We just talking about his wife's work. What's going on at the house the night before is not his wife's work.
Okay. Where does your wife work at?
County Children's and Services.
What does she do there?
She was a social worker for the Children's Section Unit.
Were you and Lisa in the process of going through a divorce?
Okay, now we're getting outside the scope.
6 months after Lisa's murder, there is a major breakthrough. Sabrina's still in custody. She agreed to talk to the prosecutor through a process called a proffer.
What we believe from conversations is that what led up to this homicide, to this murder, is that there was another party involved in planning that.
Yes. It was Kevin Knafel, my foster father. It was Kevin's idea, and it was talked about after we were having sexual relations, and him and Lisa were having problems in marriage. He wanted to get a divorce, but Haley, which is a 3-year-old daughter of his and her, was in the picture, and he wanted full custody. She would get custody, or it would be shared, and he didn't want that happening. So the alternative was for this to happen.
When was it, after you started to live there on a daily basis, that your relationship with Kevin changed? When did the sexual nature start to change?
It all started not with sex, but with massages, because he was a truck driver and his legs would cramp, so it was inner thigh. Then it progressively got into sex.
Does he ever tell you, hey, you can't tell anybody about this?
All the time.
Did he say what would happen if you told
Then
him?
you'd be taken out of my care and I could lose my foster parent license.
What did you say in response to that?
I would never do that.
Okay.
Telling him.
So have you talked to him since then?
Nada, no money on my books, no letters, no calls, no nothing.
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 The jury found Kevin guilty on all 11 counts, 6 counts of sexual battery, 3 counts of complicity to commit aggravated murder, and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit aggravated murder. Kevin was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 30 years. Kevin will first be eligible for parole in 2042 when he is 73. Sabrina Zunich was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Zunich will be first eligible for parole in 2042 when she will be 47.